into Oregon with the start of our ban phase. G2 Esports starting off with the bans. And Market are very strong on the Ashe. I don't think that G2 will actually ban the Ashe.
Would be
ban Lion. Yeah, there you go.
That makes more sense.
If you're name a more
fun operator.
More of fun operator. Yeah, it's definitely something that EU teams in general will go for, but G2 especially just insta ban on the line. It's kind of something that you can predict, at least.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, like it's line not going to get played. There goes Glaz though. I don't know if that's really going to be an important one for G2 on this map, but nonetheless, not going to get played now by Eunice. We'll see though. There's the defender bin. All right, so it's going to be a little bit of different Oregon than we saw earlier.
Yeah. So Mira ban, 2 EU teams, then the Mira ban. How?
What a surprise!
Never happens.
Yeah.
Valkyrie will be banned.
This has also been fairly common. I mean, I would say Echo and Maestro more common, but at the same time, Valkyrie has definitely been creeping up there in terms of bans. So we'll see though. G2 going to be on defense first. I imagine going to go Laundry. There we go. Yeah. Not a huge surprise there.
All right.
Oh no, they switched it up to dining. Thank you for keeping it interesting.
So I think they just want to get Kitchen out of the way.
It seems like it throws teams off, although maybe not at this point since everyone's doing it.
Fabian will go for the Maestro, but it's just this thing is, Pengu's already been very strong on the Maestro as well. So it's definitely a different thing here to see Fabian on the Maestro potentially. But there we go. We head into 6 pick, and Castle will be played out. It's really not out of the ordinary. Castle, you kind of need him here when you want to put a Castle barricade right into the hallway. Jonas on the Bandit, it always does happen. The big thing though is that you need the doorway looking into the dining area to be Castle barricaded. And what happens is that a lot of teams will focus on that barricade so much that they forget that it only takes 1 explosive to take it out, if anything. So you can't really focus too much or think too much about, oh, I have an armor panel, I'm safe. No. And Market will not, they won't really give you any quarter. They'll try to instantly take down that barricade. Now the ban on the Valkyrie, in my opinion, is very big for this one. Because as you saw in the previous matchup, the Valkyrie camera that was set up on the tower gave information very quickly to the defenders on Kitchen to be able to peek out whenever they want.
Here's what's interesting though, is G2 is the one who banned Valkyrie, and they're starting on defense on this site. So they had to have known that. That can't have been part of their plan in terms of their strategy because they're the ones who set this up. But as you said, yeah, that definitely is something that can help a lot, so it is a little surprising. But unless it's probably more so for certain other sites, they don't want to have to deal with it. But that, of course, is once Market ends up on defense. See how this attack's going to go here. As Alive playing as usual Ashe, not a surprise there. They actually opened up a ton of this wall here. Looks like opened up by the defenders as we don't see any attackers in a position who have opened that. So that's an interesting way to play it very aggressively, assuming you could stay in that Z hallway. As Alive is trying to kind of cut that rotation off a little bit so they can try and take control of Shower sooner. They've got Buck here as well. If that wall is soft into the attic, he can take advantage of that or even push into the meeting hall, opening up a bunch as well. There we go. And looks like Panix is going to do just that potentially after you. Ooh, a little tap hole first. That's going to be a warning shot for Kanto.
Yeah, and he's set up in a position where it's you're not going to have a line of sight on him, but still. Now your rotation is pretty much held back to the white stairs, but it's fine. You're looking to rotate from the white stairs anyways, though the big cutoff is that that bathroom. That's why you saw Team Liquid playing in there with a shotgun.
Yeah. Very effectively.
Yeah, it did work out very well for them in this in that map. So we got Jonas with the signature Iron Sight MP7, and he's definitely one of the people that has been playing it very consistently recently.
He's also going to be playing with that C4 as well if they go to try and make a push for there. But now that they've burned a lot of the ADSs, they are in a position to try and take out that shield, which it looks like it is going to get taken out.
There we go. Finally, it'll get taken down. Jonas taking a bit of damage, but now he cannot bandit trick, and that's what I'm talking about. It's Market not wasting any time, immediately going for the #1 priority, which is to take down that side wall, and by just using the Zofia by the farmlands to shoot down the bandit batteries.
Well, now Eunice unfortunately forced all the way back. Pengu, though, getting the initial kill onto Voy means they don't have that big heart breacher. They're going to have to use those X-Kairos to enter instead. Good thing they had two.
Yeah, Fabian watching the backside here as the drone from Garage will get taken down. Revan will get one, though, onto Eunice. This Pengu trying to find an angle as well with that ACOG. Diffuser's not been set just yet. It's 40 seconds left as Goga's on the Echo. So his Yokai can definitely be used in his MP5 as well. That's alive now, down on the floor. Fabian looking for a potential run out here, but he's mainly protecting the showers and even can rotate in to deal with anybody walking into the white stairs. Habana will peek against Pengu here. He won't get flashed, actually. He'll peek against them, and Revan's on the floor instead of going for the diffuser plant. It's now a 3v2 advantage for G2. Pengu looking in as well as Zofia will go down. That's a 3K now for Pengu as Panics will get one on Kantaraketi. All up to Panics. It's the MP5 of Goga will go down. It's a 1v1. Pengu needs this for the 4K, and no, not enough time.
Timing.
Pretty much a done and dusted deal there at the end, but kudos to Pengu spending so much time on the site, holding in the back and making sure that nobody takes control of it.
Solid anchor. And, you know, contributing to his team as well with those Rook Arbor, but definitely more so with just holding the site. And that is a very important defense to win, because winning Dining definitely gives you an advantage, because the two other bomb sites, in theory, should be easier to hold. They're going to go with the double hard breacher again, this time for Laundry, which, I mean, I appreciate the double hard breacher in terms of flexibility. You saw what happened last time and they lost one. It's definitely something that could happen. But at the same time, like, you are potentially sacrificing some other maybe important operators to do so. We are going to see a 6-pick to Pulse from Eunice here. And then Enemy, same 6-pick as last round. Panic's going to be sticky on that buck as well. Everyone pretty much playing the same roles they played last round. Defense, not the same story, though. We are going to have Pengu this time on Smoke. We know he's a very good Smoke. He's played a lot of that in the past. And this is going to be for an important Smoke site, which is, of course, the basement. They also have Fabian on the Echo, because Echo was not banned. So they're going to have quite a bit to stall out, not to mention Kanto as well on Legion. So this should be a pretty good time-based defense again as well. Try and just delay them for as long as possible. We're not going to see the mute trick that we saw coming out from Liquid before, but nonetheless, they will try and deny as long as they can once the hatch is opened. But nothing to actually really stop that from happening. Unless they want to peek the stairs, I suppose. They could have Eunice playing an aggressive pulse downstairs and be able to actually call out when they are in the lobby. We'll see how they go for it, though. Opening up a bit of the floor there, going across into the electrical to be able to help defend against the B-side push as well.
All right. Kantaraketi playing upstairs, though, in the dorm main hall. Just have 2 impact grenades to play with, so it can impact his way out of here with the hatch. It was already open for him, so he can jump down. Do they have... There we go. They have a rotation.
Ooh, wow.
Oh, wow. Goga will be the first one to fall. Guess they were checking up on him here as... Oh, no. He falls in the tower. This is a very common spot for Goga, but there you go. G2 with the late rotation into the tower. Not working out for them, and Goga will go down.
Unfortunately, Jaeger, one of the operators that has to do a lot of setup. 2 reinforcements, multiple barbed wire deployable shield, his ADSs that need to be usually in multiple places. A tough spot to be in, but he needed to be getting up to that 3rd floor of the tower, and unfortunately just didn't make it time. And then Revan follows that up with a kill into Smoke. This is looking really good for Maka, getting 2 important kills, because now they have tower control and the Smoke is dead. So Kanto actually going to go on the roam here to fight this. Risky.
Jonas taking down the drone here is pulled back. Fabian has both of his yokais here to help just in case. They're not really expecting anybody coming in from behind them, or at least from the front lobby. So right now, Kantaraketi is just focusing all his eyes on the rear stage, and he'll try to contest here. A bit of damage has been done to Panics. There we go, the spray, but unfortunately Fabian is down. The impact will be able to finish them off. No, Kantaraketi still gets the kill though on Revan through the hatch. He can jump down and help, but he has no info on where his opponents are. Jonas will try to turn it into a 3v2, and it will connect.
Wow.
Kantaraketi with one more on Enemy. And it's a 2 versus 2. So finally Panics will go down. Unfortunately, they were not able to pick up the downed Echo upstairs. Pengu, of course, having fallen. Mocket suddenly turned from having the advantage to being down 1 player. It's a 2v1 for G2, and this best case scenario is Jonas is still alive with a pulse. Information is being relayed G2 there. No, what are you doing? No, Yuna speaks up and goes for the 1v1 when he had the advantage with his teammate watching the top side. All he needed to do is use his heartbeat detector to his advantage. Now, unfortunately for G2, they forego that advantage. I'll try to peek in with the ACOG. Raketi, though, does not falter. And he'll get the last one on to Voy. Bit too close for comfort there for G2, but there you go. Round number 1 will go away, or number 2 will go the way of G2 as we head to round 3. And now 2 rounds. Pretty close.
I gotta say, though, Kanto absolutely the hero of that round. Totally saving it for his team that were down, just not in a good position, down 2 players and 2 important players. It really was just looking like Map1 had everything they needed to do, but the fight around the stage, they just seemed a little sloppy. They couldn't find the angles. They weren't really contesting meeting hall very smartly. Once they took the tower control, they just couldn't turn that into a good meeting hall attack, and obviously good plays by Kanto as well. Just completely taking advantage of the soft walls to be able to penetrate through, not to mention the hole that I believe Buck had opened. So overall, just a really good series of plays from him. And unfortunately, Eunice, like you said, peeking out a little aggressively did make it a little bit more on Kanto's shoulders at the end there, but he was more than happy to carry it home. I liked the drone play by Thermite, trying to find the angles, get an idea where people were. He did first catch the pulse, which he was able to take advantage of, then caught the Legion, but unfortunately, Legion much more on top of the shots. We're going to see 6-pick the Bandit from Eunice this time for Dorms. I'll see how this goes in terms of the attack. They are bringing Capitao this time on Revan. So hopefully that will be useful in terms of trying to clear Pengu out from between those 2 windows, which I imagine he will be playing at some point.
Okay, well, Fabian on the Echo, I wonder where they're going to set him up. Because of the way that the sites are, with the windows being so open to everybody around it, it kind of limits the Echo in his position.
Yeah,
I always want to keep safe.
He might play top of white stairs as one of the safer positions to lay prone, because you're not exposed to a lot necessarily, but they do have Capitao that they could potentially shoot across to the top of that if they take control of kids, and then obviously that would leave him in a tough spot. So he's going to set up at least 1 yokai between the 2 rooms there, and then another one on white stairs, it looks like, unless he brings it further over. And they're going to take advantage of that hole, potentially, no?
It's right here.
There we go. If he can get it up there.
There we go.
All right, I like the angle. Multiple places he can see. In fact, he's going to catch Buck right off the board there. And he's going to use this angle in the showers.
They have a completely opened wall to peek through. So there you go. They didn't reinforce this. Usually, this entire wall is reinforced from the showers. So interesting the way that G2 have this set up.
Well, they're using it the exact opposite of the way that the attackers usually use it. They usually reinforce that to stop that hole from being opened. So I guess, hey, why fight it, right?
Yep. Panix will learn of that. He'll try to come into the kitchen.
Standard push for a Buck.
Yep, just coming in from the small tower and then immediately get into the kitchen and clear it out just in case there's somebody there. There's a bandit battery that is placed on there, but I don't know if G2 are actually committing players to this position.
Yeah, it's a case where I think they're just trying to play a little more flexible here. They don't really care as much about losing kitchen. Meeting hall's a little more important. Plus, Fabian doing a good job with his yokais actually manages to pull it off before it can get shot, force them to have to come around the corner to contest it where they could be exposed. Enemy, though, with the first kill into Kanto. Unfortunately, not going to be clutching this round out, Kanto.
He is down. I wonder if it was from an aggressive push. Yep, it was a run out. Honestly, I have to really start questioning these from Kanto Raketi. Of course, he is on the Legion, so
yeah,
I kind of want to keep him alive for as long as possible. But let's see the barbed wire being taken out here by the Zofia as the first one is popped in by the white stairs. Fabian has to be careful about his position as well as at the top of the white stairs. Panic searching desperately for the yokais. You can see the ACOG on the Capitao trying to find the head of Fabian, who contests it, and Revan just gets a free kill.
Fabian, come on.
Goga still in the back, though, by the small dorms. He's just holding up against the white stairs. Flashbangs, and equipment will be thrown Goga's way as he sets up an extra bit of ADS. There we go, making sure not to get burned by the wall next to him. Bandit alive, finding the angle onto him, and all up to Jonas here. He gets taken down. Pengu gets one, but he's low on health, and a flurry of kills there, including alive at the end. Map1 will get around here 2-1. Still up for G2, but this whole round was just a disaster from start to finish.
Super easy summary why G2 lost that. Peeking, peeking, peeking constantly. You saw Kanto jump out and get, peek right into the shots. You saw the peek come out from Fabian unnecessarily. You saw the peek there from the bunks as well. He didn't need to be peeking that. Just so many peeks, and they just didn't seem on top of the peeks. They were peeking and not pre-firing. They were just peeking and hoping to see them and then shoot. If you're going to peek and not pre-fire, you really need to have better intel or have some idea where they're at. Just not smart plays there. They will be going back to dorms again. Second try. It looked like they were going to go dining for a second there, but decided against it. We'll see if they stick the pick or if they're just going to stick with this Maestro here from Fabian this time. Attacker's not going with double hard breachers this time. They're not going to stick the pick that Sophia as well. So it looks like no one really wanted to play any trickery this round. They're just going to play it straight up and hope they can win. Dorms yet again here. Now, of course, they can't go back to laundry, and they decided against dining or tower. So dorms is obviously the next choice. You see, both teams have 2 top players with 4 kills each. So they are a little bit about neck and neck, but because the G2 guys were able to win off time first round, it was definitely, makes the kills a little more even despite the score being more in G2's favor. I mean, to be honest, we're anticipating this will very likely go over to G2 at some point here, but this is a map, as you mentioned, that Mach1 are fairly decent at as well. So there's a chance we could see this go a bit back and forth. So far, it is only a 1-point advantage to G2, although they have had some pretty good rounds so far, although both of them were kind of clutched out, once by Pengu, once by Kanto, and almost an attempt by Pengu again. Can't really depend too much on clutches to get out of it, but that is something that G2 do pull off quite often.
Yeah, it's something we mentioned it literally the last game. It's not really something you can rely on, and then
but they'll do it most of the time.
That's G2. G2, they have so much individual skill between their players that it kind of is so reliable. It's consistent, and that's what you're always looking for. See, Panic's trying to find the angle on. Oh no!
Backfires.
The Bandit using Kanto here to bait out his opponents. Will get the kill on the Buck. It's a pretty big here as you lose those grenades. Alive, of course, on the Ash. That's the comfort pick. He'll always be playing. And Kanto almost getting caught with his mines out.
This is a heck of a dining room defense when that's not even the bomb site. They're really holding that aggressively. I don't think Mach1 were prepared for that.
It's a decent chunk of time being lost here, but G2 just fall back to the kitchen. They realize, okay, that's the first level of defense. We're going to lose it anyways. Let's just make sure we can still fall back. Now, what Mach1 can do is go up and contest from the bedroom.
Why not?
They can contest just from the windows. They can maybe get the kill on Pengu. They realize that the site is pretty much open because Fabian is in the back and Pengu as well, and that is it.
Yeah, it's definitely down to these bottom floor defenders, but the fact that they're not really doing much to contest them right now means they're not really accomplishing a whole lot for Mach1 here. At least they're going to start to try and push Pengu. They do have Captao to help with that as well, but
the lifeline bounce off of nothing.
It's unfortunate. Sometimes he just wants to, almost shoots Alive in the head there. Gotta be careful.
It's all calculated, but Alive peering through, looking in. There's a bit of damage from Revon again. He'll get the headshot on one, and he gets the second, peeking here with the advantage is G2. And they lose that advantage here. C4 being thrown out by Jonas. Unfortunately, that's Void to get the kill on Kanto Raketti. Jonas and Goga will have to go back up. Unfortunately for them, crossbow bolt's already done its work. It's going to limit the rotations and the line of sight that's available for G2 to go for the retake. No second bolt being thrown out just yet, but it doesn't matter.
Heaven.
All you got to do is hold the rotation, and that is it. There's no C4 to be thrown. Goga's holding the one angle. Unfortunately, that angle you hold early on in the round, and maybe when you're expecting a push from your opponents, but they don't even need to go through that window. And G2, yet again, because of over-peaking, they end up losing the round. Mach1 tying it 2-2.
Really also, just letting Revan sit outside that big window and not thinking about the big window. You saw Pengu get killed, and then Fabian rotates on it anyways, right after Pengu dies. Maybe there's just lack of communication here, overconfidence. They're just not paying attention to the flank angles, and this is really going to be a problem for them. They need to think a bit better about how they're using the map once they get some of those initial picks like that. They're just getting a little greedy, and it's not working out for them. But this is their last defense here on Laundry. It is 2-2 now, tied up. We'll see if they can manage to close out in an advantage for G2, or if they're actually going to let Mach1 come into the switch with the 1 point up. I mean, it isn't unlike some of these teams like G2 to just lose in the beginning a little bit and then just bring it back.
I mean, they just had a tie, so this is really not the end.
No, but I just they're still continuing down this trend that is a negative trend so far.
Indeed.
I mean, they won some of those rounds, but it was again off of clutches, not off of a super strong team play. So we're just not seeing that from G2 right now.
Indubitably. There we go. It's a new word we're inventing here today, but we'll see how G2 play this one here. Down in Laundry as Goga setting up his ADSs. Kanto yet again on the Legion. There's really nothing different for G2. They run this setup. They've been running it for the past 4 rounds, and this is the last round that they get on defense. So, you know, looking at Oregon and how attacker favored it has been in the past couple months, Market getting 2 rounds on the attack is kind of a minimum. You need 3 minimum, really, when you're on here to be somewhat comfortable with your position, especially knowing that Market are extremely powerful on their attack with Alive, Panics, and Enemy. There are 3 players that are very well known for their plays on the attacking side. However, once you get to the defense, I fear that they might not have the same momentum as G2 are having right now. If G2 can get the 3rd round, it'll definitely start swinging their way.
Yeah, we'll see if they can pull that off or not. They have all the utility they need for that. It's just a question of, can they stop over-peaking? They stop playing over-aggressive? Kanto definitely not taking that into heart. At least he's going to back off, though. That is the take it and get out of there at that point. They know you're going to be playing there. They're going to counter it. There's a little bit of late reinforcement. I like to just steal it up.
Goga does this quite a bit. G2 in general really are fans of that late reinforcement. They're like,
that was risky, though.
We do the damage. We try to contest. If it doesn't work, we'll just fall back and make sure we reinforce behind us because we want to keep advantage on the meeting hall. Now, there are 2 hard destructors, of course, on Market, so it's no biggie for Market to use one of their X-Gyros just on there because it happens so many times. You know, Millennium likes to play this a lot as well, where they would just have someone holding the rotations. And even Market played this back when they were actually running a lot more Dokkaebi.
Yeah, definitely something I'm surprised we haven't seen from either of these teams just yet. Or, like, I mean, I guess we only would have seen it from Market, but still. They are going to go for opening the hatch via the school wall, give themselves the angle, of course, because that is the most, or the smartest way utility-wise to open that. Eunice, though, with the first kill on the Void, a little bit of a comeback then here coming from G2. That is a kill onto one of the Heartbreachers. Again, they brought 2, which was the smart choice here.
But we really only need the Habana. Now, there's 2 Breach Palace that are available, and really the only position that you have to open up with your X-Gyros is that drop hatch, basically, into Laundry. Otherwise, the rest is kind of just utility, and you need to hold angles. Just, hey, if all our opponents can just push in from the main doorway in the meeting hall, I think we don't even need to open up a hole to contest anybody. We can just push in onto the site and make sure that they only have tower to rotate from. So we know that they'll be coming in from the hallway or from the back of Laundry.
Yeah, we'll see if they're able to counter that. Unfortunately, Fabian, trying to be smart about his drone, lost it pushing against an attacker drone. Not sure who shot that attacker or defender, but did not work out in terms of that. He has potentially one more Yokai drone left to help with this, but he's going to peek instead and actually gets a kill under Revit, but takes a lot of damage in the process.
And Goga opening up the meeting hall just to make sure that his opponents are always on their toes against him. Now, information has been relayed on the position of Panic, as Jonas will get the kill. It's a 2v4 and now a 4v1. Pengu will get one more. There's still one more in school as he gets the down, and that's Goga to knife Enemy down to the floor. And there you go. Diffuser will get taken out as the player has not been picked up in the lobby, but it doesn't matter. G2 with 3 rounds up versus the 2 for Market is definitely a pretty big advantage for G2 on the defense.
They're definitely going to have that big advantage. I feel like on attack they might have a little bit better attack here, and I think this is where we're going to see it probably start to swing a bit more G2 side. I mean, yeah, that last round gave them a 1-round advantage, but we'll see. Market are going to risk tower first if they stick on that. That should be interesting to see if they can pull that off. That's the riskier one. Dining actually seems to be working out better for teams today than tower has been. So that is a big risk. Like I said, they are going to stick it. We'll see if they get any operator switch. But like I said, I was surprised to see Dokkaebi earlier, but of course that was when it was just Market playing. Now that we see G2, they're going to play that. And they are going to bring the Ying as well. A lot of good utility here on the attack side. Defender's going to bring that Echo because, well, it's not banned, might as well. Also, Eunice actually going to switch up last second to Twitch. Interesting choice. I mean, that might help against the Echo drone, I suppose, or clear some ADSs.
I mean, plus you get the F2, right? It's
oh yeah, obviously.
FAMAS is definitely no slouch, and usually you used to see Fabian playing that role of the Twitch. There's quite a bit of footage of that, and Mach1 will start off on the tower. So I'm curious here, to say the least. Wonder how they're going to set this up. Maybe focusing more on the bedrooms. Maybe just holding quite a bit on the tower T3, because we've seen this especially with Panics. The way that things are set up, he can hold it from the top, but he just needs to have the intuition to know when to rotate from one side to the other. Now the thing is, because Valkyrie is banned, and that was G2's ban, it makes things a lot more complicated for Mach1 to figure things out.
They would definitely be playing it on this defense, especially if they had it as an option. So because they don't, they're going to have to play things differently. We have seen some sneaky plays with Echo drones where they pop them into the window sills before.
Yeah, that was Renshiro that played it for Millennium. It does help, but
not quite the same.
Yeah, it's not quite the same, of course.
It didn't actually really end up leading to too much either when we saw it, but I like the idea that tricking, you know, some ideas you can do. Obviously, you can't put it outside because it loses connection after 3 seconds. And Kanto, speaking of losing connection, pretty much disconnects Panics from life there. Unfortunate. Nice early pick. Yeah. He's definitely not going to be happy about that. Because
was that the only T3 player?
Probably. That usually is. And you're not going to see a lot of late rotates up to the T3, so not a great start.
Yeah, that's it. It's completely been let go. Now, Goga has the diffuser in hand. Now, that might not work out too well if he does get taken down. He jumps in, and there you go. He gives them the diffuser. Goga, what are you doing?
Why would you do that?
Now
he didn't even take out the ADS before he died.
Oh, no, at least Dokkaebi here takes control, but the diffuser, I think, is still on the top floor. They're going to try to pick it up. No, it's literally on the beam. Oh,
he's got it now.
So there you go. Fabian will go in for the plant as instantly G2 were able to push in Mach1 with Revan coming into the site. He'll try to deny this here, but he's spotted. There's little positions that you can come in from, and Jonas gets one. Enemy will go for the reload, and as he does that, it's Jonas that comes in for the finisher with the Twitch. It's a bit of a fast execution. The instant they got the pick on the Jaeger, it's like, okay, well, T3 is free. Let's just go.
And that's why that was a very swift lesson to Mach1 in why they shouldn't play tower. It was like, if we get your guy at the top of tower, you lose tower. Now, obviously, they didn't need to get over aggressive with it and jump down to the wood beam and lose the diffuser. That was a bit of a misplay, but nonetheless, they took that very, very quickly, and that was a very confident play. Like I said, this is where we're going to see them break ahead, and they're already now up one more point, getting dangerously close to taking the map here. Now, Mach1 going to go for a much smarter, safer bomb fight here in Laundry. Like I said earlier, some teams like to just get those side ones out of the way, but Dining is, like I said, been proving to be a bit more effective than Tower has been. We're going to see some 6 picks getting used here. Both of them to the Polish operators.
Yeah, Ella to Panics, not surprising at all. And Jonas to Zofia. That's, again, a pretty good pick. We've seen a lot of Zofia play for Jonas. He's, at least for a lot of people, considered the NVK of Europe. So there you go. There's a lot of Zofia plays. Mach1 will be playing downstairs. So Panics will be setting up with the Ella. I wonder if he's going to be playing more of a roam heavy thing or just holding specific angles, because with the L-shaped hallway, you've got you also have a few stairs, etc. All of those can be extremely beneficial for an Ella that is very well known for being extremely effective in CQC.
Yeah, it definitely comes down to how the individual plays it as well, because it's an operator that you can play pretty flexibly, but if you know how to play aggressive and at just the right timing, it's a very, very effective operator, but you have to be smart about it. And those mines definitely help on that, because they can help you figure out that timing in terms of knowing when to push them. But it's still, of course, just the beginning of the actual round, as this could go over to map point here.
Is this the rush? They're going to rush on down. They're not even going to take that that reinforced hatching. down at all. They just rush in, they realize the entire site is empty because Mach1 are playing this Latin America style. Everybody off the site. That's the first one getting taken down. It's Voy. Now the second one as well. Pengu down onto Alive. It's a 3v2 with the diffuser already planted. Panic's low on health. He gets one kill on Jonas, but Goga will refrag instantly, making sure that Mach1 have to work for every single one of these moments. Revan is down on the floor up top in the meeting hall, and it's all up to enemy. And as the MP5 SD will make him heard. Moves in through the hallway. The Ashkin coming in from the back, and it's already Goga. That will finish him off. Of course, Fabian having down Revan upstairs in the meeting hall. More than enough. G2, the beautiful bit of play here, realizing that their opponents are completely open and free.
Well, as I've said before, when they get a little sick of playing a particular round, they like to close it out very quickly, and they're certainly doing that already on map point here. This is looking like it could be over for Mach1. Chances are Mach1 will probably get one more round at least, but this is definitely looking like G2's map. It was Mach1's map pick, though, and that's what makes me a little bit worried about that. Obviously, they're going to have to...
Yeah, this is Mach1 now in the tactical timeout, so
okay.
You do have the confirmation. It makes a lot of sense. Obviously, they get a tactical timeout, one per
Yeah,
map.
use it when you're on your potentially last round.
Yes.
Good time to use it.
So we'll see how this works out. And we told you guys, the attacking side on Oregon has a pretty darn big advantage. So much like Coastline, you're looking at a minimum of 3 rounds. And unfortunately, Mach1 only were getting 2 on the attack. Doesn't work out too well for them.
Well, we'll see if they can finally pick up one defensive round. They're going to try Laundry one more time. And I say one more time because if they lose that, then they get no more chances. But at least they're not going to try anything radical like Tower or Dining. But they're going to have to make some adjustments. Obviously, one adjustment, maybe keep a few more people on site and don't get rushed.
I mean, this happens like... this happens once every week in professional play, really.
If you see it, use it.
Yeah, you drone in, you're like, well, it's open. There's only one guy downstairs, so it's just all rush. And that's exactly what happened. They didn't even have to care about the echo or whatever setup.
And it's a case, too, where when Mirror's Bandit makes it a little bit easier. Just because you don't have to worry about there being a window there for them to see you. They pretty much have to be peeking that hole to try and do anything about your rush down the stairs. In which case, they're not as prepared. We'll see, though, if they're as prepared this time. I would imagine they would consider at least putting some lesion mines on those stairs coming down so that there's a chance they will at least get slowed down.
I mean, there was one Goo Mine.
Yeah, but I mean, you could put 2 during the prep phase. Not that 2's going to make that much of a difference.
Usually what happens with the Goo Mines is that you put your Goo Mines early on in the prep phase further away from the site where your roamers or whoever are playing, and then as you're playing more and more on the site, you kind of like leave a trail of breadcrumbs, in this case poisonous mines, behind you.
That's in the case if depending on how you're playing, is whereas Kanto will play a little bit more off site, but in this case Revan probably going to play a little bit closer to site, I would think.
He's actually
going to be upstairs. You know, all right.
It's more of a roamer. Legion here, of course, to take down one of the drones being shot in the back. Jonas will get tagged by one of the Gushmot mines brought in by Panics. So he still has one in his back pocket.
Fortunately for him, could not find an angle, so he's just going to back off, which is probably the smart play, but nonetheless, that will slow them down a little bit. They're going to have to push that a little bit differently, but Alive taking down Kanto early. A nice aggressive pick here, hanging out on that stage as Jaeger. He's going to get countered here by Pengu soon, potentially, unless he drops first.
I can instantly drop out of this one here. They're relying on drones. They know he's here, but unfortunately he's crouched. And Alive being tagged, he just falls down. So that's why, that's the only reason really you'll see enemy scans. And well, unfortunately, Pengu not going to find the angle. He is running a dot sight on, oh, no, they can't take down the yokai. But he's not running an ACOG on his Para 308. So it doesn't really have the easiest of times having the long range potential.
Well, they do have tower control. They also have control of the armory. So they're taking control of this top floor. They've pushed everyone off pretty much back to site. But at the same time, they left meeting and the lobby pretty much open for the defenders to control here. This is not the best way to do it, but they're going to go for a B-side push for the most part here. See Goga rotating around, coming from the construction side as well with the diffuser.
Yeah, there's not a ton of time here for G2 to come in from standard stairs / hatch push. though they have pushed everybody, as you mentioned, away from Meeting Hall. Goga will have to come in, but there's 44 seconds left on the clock. Trying to burn in here as much utility as possible. Fabian will come in to the hallway. The flash does help him to come in close against his opponent. He pushes in, run from the back. Goga will get one in the meantime. Unfortunately, Panics will win out up close with the CZ3A1. Now it's Goga to come in for the diffuser plant, and it will be successful as Panics gets a second one. Revan will get one more to turn it into a 3v1. All up to Jonas now, and unfortunately there are no grenades available for the IQ anymore. The diffuser is being shot down, as in the meantime, Revan gets the final one on Jonas, and there we go.
Just helping out his teammate. Make sure to guard that diffuser.
There you go. That's the round for Mocket. They need it. It's a big morale boost for the team. As you can see, they're not as active as their opponents of G2. They're kind of like wondering what was happening there. But that early pick was huge. Taking down Kanto in the tower.
Yeah. Nicely done by Alive, playing that aggressively. That was definitely a game changer for them. But nonetheless, it was still a close round. And are you guys seriously going to go tower now? You do not want... They have yet to play dorms. So the fact that they're going to potentially go tower second time seems like a huge mistake. Now, last time, there was the early pick that you mentioned on the Jaeger and that up on T3, and that made a huge difference. But still, this seems like such a risky move without having the addition of those black eye cameras outside. They do have at least a pulse to get some intel, assuming they stick on that. But
go for kitchen in this case.
It seems, yeah, this seems really, really risky. They are going to still bring the Echo, but
didn't even play bedroom. Play bedroom.
That's what I'm saying.
Why are you playing tower?
I don't know. They're just... It's risky. It's risky. This is their map pick, too. This is not like, oh, our map's next. We're fine. No, you go into Villa next.
Yeah, it's a map that is untested for Mocket. G2 have had success on it. They did play against ENCE, actually, in OGA Pit, and they were able to beat them on Villa. It was they kind of were showing stuff here and there, so yeah, G2 kind of know their stuff around Villa.
Oh, absolutely. They're a team that's not going to slouch on that. With the coach like Chaz, I'm sure they've spent a lot of time analyzing Villa and watching every match available that anyone has played on Villa to get an idea or ideas on different ways to play it. I've heard a lot of rumors about how Villa has been evolving over this last 2 weeks. It's really been shaping up to be an interesting map. So I expect good stuff there, as we are guaranteed to see it since it's not the decider, which will be fun. The way things are going, though, we may not see the decider. We'll see. It is only 5-3. They only have to come back 2 rounds in a row to take it to overtime, but it's definitely going to be a struggle. They are going to at least feel out where the defense is set up here. They know there are defenders downstairs. Unfortunately, they didn't shoot out the drone, so that is Void getting chased off. Fabian taking full advantage of that, so that's why you saw the pings coming out. Now he's going to be able to hack the phone. Now, of course, that's not going to give them huge advantage as they're not playing with a Maestro or a Valkyrie, but nonetheless, it's still nice to have that extra bit of intel to try and catch any roamers who are probably not going to go shoot the cameras.
No, well, Window's going to get taken down here. At least Kanto expecting a potential peek. He knows that usually the Jaeger is playing all the way up top. Now, the best thing for G2 here is that they don't have to fear anybody from below. So Laundry's pretty much open for them. The rear stage, rear tower, definitely be a position where you'll see Fabian moving up with. I'm not sure if he still has. Yeah, there we go. He still has one more call to use, plus the smoke grenade. So instead of going through the tower, he's going to use that call to push into the meeting hall.
We'll see if they can keep control of it, as that is an important part of this push. There was some reinforcements that would help with that in the stage. Exactly where the...
Oh! Fabian lands the headshot on Alive. As everybody here gasping really at the same time. That is an oof of a shot. And now all that's left is... There we go, he's finally going to get taken down. Enemy, fortunately, stays alive against all the utility that's being thrown in his way. Kanto Raketti realizing now that it's going to get contested by the Jaegers. Enemy comes in from the side as well. Too many angles for them to watch. They can just plant here on the side. As Jonas gets one, so another one for Pengu. It's a 1v3, but Panics is still upstairs. Just plant below.
They've got to be reading into that at this point.
There we go. It's going to be set. Panics will have to rotate in as they're not ready for him. He'll get the kill onto Goga. And that's going to be detected. All up to Jonas, the Finnish player against the Swiss Panics. We'll have to clutch this one out here as he sprays right into him, but Jonas will hit the shot to take out Panics. And here we go, match point. Already won by G2, who put the first map on the board.
Well, definitely a case where it got pretty close there, because this time they did not take out the T3 player, and because of that, they were able to take advantage of that to get pretty far into the round. But nonetheless, Eunice, a reliable clutch there. Again, a lot of clutches being